baseball, the International Champions Cup, NFL training camp updates, and the rest of the day's sports news.
I hit the crowd go crazy, questions on, don't get lazy. This is what legends are made of. I do it up with a love. Finish what we started. Lock in.
Drew Brees is still one of the best players in the league.
He's a surgeon.
Touchdown Saints.
Somehow Drew Brees finds the open man as well as anybody has ever played.
Okay, this is the truth. So Drew Brees had a little more incentive today because he was playing for food. I'm going to show you that in a second. The question was posed to me in the newsroom, if I could compete for any 3 foods, what would they be? And I didn't even have to think about it. Spaghetti and meatballs, but it has to be my mom's. No question about it. Second thing would be a cheeseburger, but it's got to have dill pickles. I don't want any of that bread and butter stuff dill on it, or it's worthless to me. And the third, Cheez-Its. I keep them in my car, it's true. I've finally come to terms with the fact it is not a pregnancy thing. But today, no joke, the Saints quarterbacks competed for their favorite foods at training camp, and this is what it looked like.
Hey everybody, Saints training camp, day 7, quarterback competition 7. We have a very exciting quarterback competition to bring you today. We've got 3 targets. We've got sausage, we've got brisket, and we've got ribs. Whoever hits the most letters with their throws receives that meat item.
Winner, winner, brisket dinner.
Bingo. Let's go. You can earn 2 additional throws. Here's how you get to do it. Each quarterback will wear the helmet cam. They'll be between 5 and 10 yards away. The other quarterbacks will have one opportunity to peg them with the tennis ball.
Right at his dome. I love it.
If they peg them, then they don't get the additional throw. But if they can make the tennis ball miss, then they get that additional throw.
Brisket. Ooh, one. Nice.
Ooh, this man likes him some brisket. All right, he got it.
You got it.
3.
You got it. Oh, 4. No, you hit 2, you missed 2, and you get 1. That's 5. I know you went to Colorado State, but that's 5 throws.
It's Colorado State guys, man. If he hits the B 4 times, he gets the brisket from Garrett. Garrett was all in on the brisket. Oh, damn.
Ah! Tell you what, I'm just a Jedi.
There you go. There you go.
One. Two. Just confirmation. Now let me down. He's got that extra big towel on though, you know, so it's kind of his own fault there. Got it. 1. Alright, I'm going brisket.
Did you hear the sound of it?
I see some brown here. That's good. He's going for the ribs and the brisket. That one's low.
So as it stands right now, ribs, sausage, brisket. Unless one of us drops it into the box of meat, then you take all. Winner, take all. Here we go.
Let's go.
Look out. I made him nervous, I think, at the end. Almost took his brisket and almost dropped it in for the whole shebang. But at the end of the day, we all walk away with something. I feel pretty good about it.
I feel good.
In fact, barbecue at my house.
I mean, trust me, it is hard to have patience when you got good food on the line. By the way, no one is more dialed in with the Saints than Mike Triplett, who covers them on a daily basis for ESPN. Mike, we just saw the quarterbacks in action, but how would you describe the Saints' approach to this laid-back activity, or what seemed like a laid-back activity?
Well, you're right. Laid back is not the right term. As we got to see, they take this dead serious, both in the competitiveness with all of these guys. They especially hate it when the young guy Garrett Grayson is able to win a competition, but also in the elaborate planning stages of these challenges. But look, it is a lot of fun, and I asked Drew Brees about that. This is his 16th NFL training camp, and this is one of the things that makes it fun for him.
It absolutely is. I mean, camp can get really monotonous, just the daily grind. And so we find ways to really to compete. I mean, listen, we're all competitors at heart. This is what we love to do. This is why we love the game of football. And this is kind of the fun part after the practice. You know, after that grind of kind of getting through the practice and all that extra work afterward and the conditioning and everything else, then it's like, all right, now it's time to compete a little bit amongst the group. And then, you know, we've got a little chart in our quarterback room where we're always marking things. And it doesn't just happen here on the field. I mean, it happens in the weight room. We've got little conditioning stuff that we do that's competitive, and we're always keeping score. So yeah, that's part of the fun.
Brees said the other day that he fully intends on being able to play at a high level for at least 5 more years. And when you look at the fact that he has led the NFL in passing 4 of the past 5 years, and the fact that he continues to have so much fun in training camp, it's hard to doubt him.
Okay, what does he say, Mike, about the way that he actually wants that future to unfold?
Well, look, his contract is also a big issue, a serious issue that he says he's not paying much attention to during training camp, but this is the final year of his current contract. He said numerous times he wants to retire as a member of the New Orleans Saints. He fully intends to stay with the Saints. This deal obviously is not that easy to get done, and part of the reason is the amount of guaranteed money that'll have to be involved in a long-term contract will probably have to pay him until he's 40 years old. So he's set sort of a deadline. He says, if this is not done by the start of the regular season, I want to shelve talks until after the season. And the fact that it hasn't been done so far, it's quite possible that this will go into March before we find out for sure that Brees is staying in New Orleans long term.
Spoken like a true veteran. Mike Triplett, if you were here, I'd offer you a snack. Thanks so much. That brisket looks good. Coming up, another year, another offensive coordinator for Jay Cutler. We're going to check